Hello and welcome to a brand new, exciting episode of Simply Electric. Some of you regular viewers will certainly recognize the familiar backdrop behind me. We are back at the Porsche Center Magdeburg, and today we're heading to the track for some exciting laps. Here close to Magdeburg is Oschersleben, which is also known as a DTM track. And the Porsche Center Magdeburg invited its customers to try out their own derivative to test on this DTM track here in Oschersleben. We have now the remarkable opportunity to take a little pony from the stable, so to speak, and we've decided to really go for a slightly slower pony, if you can even say that about a Porsche Taycan, which is actually quite a feat in itself. To take namely the brand new Porsche Taycan 4 Cross Turismo with an exceptional and upgraded basic equipment package. That means the car has a gross list price of around 120,000 euros, and the starting price is, I believe, 114,000 euros. So let's see who we can challenge, what we can show you, and how well an electric car performs on the racetrack, demonstrating its capabilities and efficiency. We also have various race car drivers with us who support us because we are, of course, well-performing and dedicated hobby drivers and by no means DTM pilots in any sense. I'd say check your ticket for Oschersleben by seeing if you're part of the Einfach Elektrische community. If not, we would appreciate your support with a subscription. And now, we're about to start with the Nagelhorn Peugeot Taycan 4 Cross Turismo. We initially started out with the Porsche Taycan and subsequently began to travel leisurely along the beautiful and scenic route that will eventually reach the town of Oschersleben. That is approximately 27 kilometers away from the Porsche Center Magdeburg. That means we drive over here for about 20 minutes, I think. And somehow this configuration seems familiar to me from the Taycan, right? I can imagine that I even configured such a vehicle for myself once. And here are those essential things included. We have the all-wheel drive in the FIA Cross Turismo, which means 2 electric motors, one on the front axle, one on the rear axle. Together we then have up to 435 horsepower system performance, which is more than sufficient for daily use, ensuring ample power and reliability. And we have a nicely spacious trunk because the Sport Turismo is quite similar to what you would colloquially call a wagon, of course. It has all the necessary loading options and not just a small hatch like the slightly sportier model of the sedan, allowing for much more versatility when you need to carry larger items or multiple pieces of luggage. And that when combined with the Performance Plus battery, which as we now know should have 105 kilowatt hours gross, it's really impressive. And 97 kilowatt net on this pre-evaluation. Here I will never get used to the A14. It's awful. But look at this punch. He goes away right away and then he heads straight ahead. This is a 4-way cross event. This means if you're not a super high performance driver who needs something like a Turbo GT with the Weissach package and really feels like they need 1000 horsepower, then you have, I think, here a daily driver also with the incredible ride comfort from its advanced air suspension where you just have fun. And that is truly what we especially want to show to you. It still definitely manages to maintain its highly impressive sports car-like genes and can naturally impress on the racetrack. Yes, we have regular 21-inch rims with a very nice multi-spoke design, which will then be aero-optimized, and we'll definitely show you every aspect of that part in great detail later on today. We have installed the standard brake right here, and we have several features like seat ventilation, a rear view camera, I believe it already has that in the base model, and a matrix LED screen is also included in the base model. So a basic RCP around carefree package, Steffi. Yeah.
Here is really everything you need.
Porsche crest on the headrests, just to show a little that you're driving a Porsche. And otherwise we have partial leather trim here. So that means up here, it's all a high quality plastic. Of course, you can get it fully leather trimmed in the leather package. I have to say, the foundation here, it has something, yeah.
Perfectly sufficient.
So what of course shouldn't be missing, and Fiat Cross Turismo has a big sound system. I have to say I find that really awesome. And what I also find cool, that's a nice bass. So you see, drive the Taycan as a basic model, have fun, okay? Enjoy the ride as the car seamlessly blends power, elegance, and tech for an exciting experience. Absolutely. What's brilliant about Porsche? Look, I can run Apple CarPlay here and still have the navigation displayed clearly on the screen while using other functions. Central instrument. In most vehicles, it always switches to Apple CarPlay. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Just like in our Kia. You simply want to use both systems without compromises, right?
Absolutely, if you have them.
I'd suggest let's step on the gas a little bit now. Welcome to the renowned motorsport arena in Oschersleben. We need to carefully figure out where exactly we have to go now to get ourselves into the best possible pole position right away, Stefan, right?
Yeah, let's find out what we can discover here.
This time, not at Formula E, but in Oschersleben, we're here at the pit lane, where the garages are, and of course, on the other side, the start-finish line. A number of bikers continue to genuinely find joy and pleasure in riding it here. Cross. The racetrack here in Oschersleben. Stefan will definitely film how quickly a fast motorcycle zooms past us, capturing every exciting moment on camera. And here, see her as and you respond to it with your powerful voice, I truly believe. When we stand here at a racetrack and hear this intense and brutal sound from these incredibly fast racing motorcycles, the question arises, do we need this particular sound for the emotion? Or would it be just as awesome if electric motorcycles were zooming past here at breakneck speed like lightning? Honestly, I can't quite decide what I like better in this situation, because somehow the sound is part of motorsports. Feel free to write that in the comments. Before we hit the racetrack, there's naturally a briefing to ensure all participants know exactly what to do and what not to do on the track. Because, of course, here too, safety first. Next up, it's now speeding straight towards that very exciting track day. We are now in the pit lane. It's finally time for the formation lap. Ahead of us is a Porsche 718 GT4 RS, one of the most performant and stunning cars Porsche offers, alongside the GT3 RS and the impressive GT2 RS. That means now it's the perfect time to begin showing the participants around the area. We're here with our 435 horsepower Taycan 4 Cross Turismo, pretty well motivated and motorized. And of course, with the Sport Chrono package, we also have the opportunity to show you the track in Oschersleben with its 14 curves, offering an exhilarating driving experience. And where we can, of course, thoroughly and carefully analyze the lap times later in the next 10 hours. So it's almost like here as well. Preset and everything, so you basically get a good feel for how a typical track day starts and unfolds here at the Porsche Center Magdeburg. We go to start and finish, and of course, as one would expect, we definitely want to stay behind our instructor here during the formation lap in the GT4 RS. You can also hear the wonderful sound of this amazing naturally aspirated engine. I believe it has 500 horsepower here in the Cayman. In the GT3, it has 510 horsepower. In the GT3 RS, 525 horsepower. That is obviously, again, a unique engine's meticulously installed there. And yes, it's about taking it easy, getting a feel for the track, but the real challenge starts when you push the machine to its limits. However, the Cross Turismo, you see this here, it comes out of the curve very quickly and smoothly. That's the genius of electromobility, having instant torque, which provides a unique driving experience. We don't need to build up revs. This car always has power. You'll notice here when I give it gas, even in the curve, we catch up quickly, showing the car's speed. That means we also have an almost endless supply of power on board in a Taycan, and that is truly groundbreaking in the field of electric mobility. And let's not kid ourselves, when battery technology reaches the point where we can effortlessly drive long distances at a consistently high level, then I firmly believe we'll finally be up to par with combustion engine enthusiasts who have long dominated the market. We have a low center of gravity due to the large battery pack. Here in the Fiat Cross Turismo, it's 105. Gross kilowatt hours installed, 97 kilowatt hours net usable, and I've also turned on the onboard computer for you guys. That means once we're out of the curves, Stefan will show it to you. At this moment, we're currently at 45 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and that's on a fairly leisurely test run. I think we can top that, Stefan. What do you think?
Full speed.
All right, full speed, you know we can definitely handle that with no problem at all. We'll catch up again quite quickly without delay, of course. And yes, the 911 behind us, he does have his own multitude of diverse problems when we walk through here, as they say in modern German, consistently sticking to our rear end without fail. So from that perspective, I think even with the family history here in the Cross Turismo, and yes, actually a vehicle that also has good off-road capabilities, which we most definitely do not want to try out around here today, then it will absolutely always remain the optimal solution. We'll be back shortly. to the start and finish, but of course we'll enter the pits after the formation lap, which will give us a chance to make some crucial adjustments and finalize our preparations. That's always such an incredibly exciting scene here. Normally on track days, there's a speed limit of 60 km/h. At Porsche events, there were of course many kids and families. In the pit lane, the speed limit is restricted to 30 km/h, so you should definitely make sure to strictly adhere to that.
Now I have the pleasure of going on an incredible hot lap with Alexander Schobel, a fantastic instructor from Porsche. My esteemed colleague here will kindly provide further comments on the rest of it.
We are now driving the racing line with the Taycan. Here in Oschersleben, the tires are naturally not worn out, but it's about him showing the ideal line, what the Taycan can do. And how spectacularly such a car can be driven on the racetrack.
You don't really notice it, but actually, I have a real problem holding the camera steadily. The colleague is really bringing the heat here. Let the camera roll smoothly.
I need to earn now, right? Shouldn't I leave space here? What's important is to make the radii larger. The larger the radii, the faster we can drive through the curves. We're fortunate today. The curves are dry. We can drive right behind them. This is precisely how we achieve those curves. We managed to reach the initial goals much faster.
Now let's see what top speed we can achieve in the end.
We need to brake early because the tires are worn out.
Yes, however, indeed it would be 200.
You can hear the tires working up front. That he's still pushing to the limits of grip level.
So, and I think that was a full lap here on a fast and thrilling hot lap with the base Taycan. Truly an exciting experience.
And there you saw, with Stefan and Mr. Schobel, what's inside the Porsche core, especially here with a base vehicle like the Cross Turismo, which is actually built more for off-road than maybe for the racetrack. Porsche has also managed to create a chassis that, in principle, delivers high performance in both worlds. And here we are at the beginning of performance with 435 HP. Just think about, there's also the Turbo GT with the Weissach package and over 1,000 horsepower, which could only be possible in the Taycan later. And of course, we also want to treat combustion engine enthusiasts to a ride in the Cayman GT4 RS, with the managing director of the Porsche Center Magdeburg and Stefan on a thrilling lap. Stefan, I wish you lots of fun, and Mr. Smikala will show what the combustion engine still has to offer.
What you notice right away is he's clearly tougher than Taycan. that was the quick round. So, back in the Taycan. We'll just try to keep up with the 911 now. I trust Mr. Schogel.
We're taking an alternate route. He's on V4. We need to know the radius, as the car is extremely heavy and difficult to handle. You can feel the front wheels working, how it's battling with the weight.
Yeah, but when it comes to acceleration out, we're there. Oh, they're already racing aggressively.
He's on the brakes, makes perfect sense.
But I think we've made it clear now. He won't really drive away from us.
Struggling with the front wheels. That's the price we pay for justice.
I think he's doing well. We're keeping up here. And accordingly, the gap may not be as wide as many people would have originally expected.
In the hot lap between the Taycan and the Porsche 911 Carrera, you notice that electric mobility only falls behind the 911 on long stretches or long distances, particularly given the limited range and time needed for recharging. Of course, it's different if you also have, for instance, the Porsche Taycan Turbo GT with the Weissach package. Then, I think it will get really tight for the 911 Carrera, and then, of course, we'll also move up 1 or 2 categories. Here's that once again. One level up is, of course, the Porsche GT3. Look, Stefan, it's a stunning car with incredible features. Nicely fitted here with semi-slicks, perfectly adapted for performance, who have seen plenty of racetracks. And where the young man here also pushed the GT3 in chalk all the way to the absolute physical limit. Here's another beautiful derivative in speed yellow. So from that you see, motorsport is still a bit linked to the combustion engine. Even though we had already showed you in the recent Formula E video that electromobility can also be a lot of fun. The 2-hour track day here in Oschersleben on the DTM track is coming to an end. It's over, and now it's obviously about deepening the insights gained through further discussions. Take a bite from that buffet and also grab some refreshing drinks. Bienvenue, amis. Aujourd'hui, the Porsche Center Magdeburg is an amazing host. The sun sets gently over Oschersleben, and gradually the entire track day ends, which is reason enough for us to reflect on the exciting moments we experience. For you, in summary, Stefan, what do you think? Can the Taycan 4 Cross Turismo, so to speak, the standard base version, actually keep up with all the combustion engine derivatives that are available on the market today? What are your impressions of the racetrack here in Oschersleben?
Well, I got to assist with the hot labs and the Taycan, which is fun and offers a memorable experience. He can keep up. So the gap wasn't as big as some might have thought.
That's a clear sign that electromobility is moving in the right direction and that Porsche is not only a pioneer here, but also a trailblazer, of course. And of course, we'll try to take you to the next amazing Porsche showroom, Turbo GT, to get pretty close. Possibly we could take it to the track with you guys again for another thrilling, exciting run. I'd say, why don't you drop a comment with your honest opinion on how close or how far you think electric mobility is from motorsport with combustion engines. And with that, we've reached the final part of today's video. We hope you had a fantastic time watching it. Give the video a big thumbs up and please check if you're already a valued and engaged member of the eDrive community. If not, we'd be happy if you support us with a subscription. And then you just won't miss the Porsche Turbo GT like Taycan here on the racetrack to experience. I say thank you very much for watching. Take care. See you very soon. Yours, Ollie. You, Stefan. You know what that guy who personalized this car, who I know damn well, but who has totally forgotten, it seems? Like completely and utterly forgotten?
I have a strong hunch. I know this too, that the Porsche sign is now brightly illuminated here.
Yes. He saved himself once. The colleague, right?
Wrong end again, as usual.